As an introduction, here are 3 geoglyphs or rock alignments I've identified on this Google Earth map. The way you spot these is to look closely. You can see this oval rock arrangement in this picture. The plan for the day is to look for some geoglyphs that I can see in the satellite pictures, simple ones. And because I know this area is good for petroglyphs, I think we'll see a few. Going up this hill to, well, see if we see some petroglyphs along the way, and where I plan to look for these rock circles / geoglyphs is up on top of the mesa. Well, there's a few marks here up at the top, a few more glyphs at the top. That's looks like a slightly corrupted bighorn. And I see some over here. Let's go have a look at those. There's the lizard man, and that looks like a man with a big owl head. Oh, you can see one over here too. That one looks a little more abstract. And what is it we got here? Again, that's probably a lizard man. Oh, and right next to it, more lizard men, bigger ones. Yeah, this cliff band has a lot of glyphs. I've seen most of them before, and so I'm not going to spend much time here. Preferring to head off and find these rock circles up on top. You can't stop looking though. On top of the mesa now. See if we can find anything else up here. Well, I came over here to look down in one of these side canyons just to illustrate it. I was about to say that usually you don't find any petroglyphs here, and well, I happened to stumble right on one with the sun shining on it right down there, so I'll get a little closer to that one. Standing here, I'm shading the spiral that's next to the lizard man and squiggles there. Nice one. And right next to it is this sort of interesting, very old one. It's got those dots with some ladder of some sort. Can't make out too much more detail, but that's obviously man-made and much older than the one we're just looking at. Lizard man down low here. But there's a brighter one around the corner. Let me see if I can. Pretty nice. Sort of a geometric abstract design. From a little further away. Glad I came down here. Well, I'm coming up on the first Earth figure I spotted in satellite. Earth figure maybe is a better word than a geoglyph, which sometimes implies more structure, or a rock circle, because these aren't really circles. But they are man-made Earth features. You can see this one quite clearly. Has rocks arranged in a oval type shape. There's a lot of these in this area, some of them much fancier than this. But they're believed to be ancient. They're difficult to age. I talked to an ASU professor recently who wrote papers about it 20 years ago and came up with ages, 1,000 years or more. Although I think it's a contentious enough area that he didn't want to go on the record saying he knew how old they were anymore. But, people don't come up here. So, nobody made this recently. Well, the geoglyphs were just up there. I got close to the edge, and I don't think I've walked exactly this section before. I don't think it's a real
good part of it, but I can see a petroglyph around the corner there, lizard man. So I'll look a little closer here. There he is from, come down to get on his level. And this little alcove has a few more lizard men. There's an outlined cross. There's a fat one, sort of upside down. You can see the little diamond pattern, some concentric circles, feet with too many toes, and these ones on the other rock, the running guy and that squiggle with a tail. How many toes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on that one foot. There's quite a thing about amongst petroglyph people. There's a lot of six-toed and six-fingered depictions. I guess there's some belief that that may have been something that occurred in the population more commonly back then. Here's this running guy. The brittle bush is out. It's pretty yellow flowers, and so is the creosote, which has a different yellow flower. That bump over there is the volcano that's the source of all the basalt around here. It's a pretty area. It's nice walking here. I've been to this one before. I like it. It's sort of a little bit of a pointed oval, or say maybe a sector of a circle. Got two straight lines with a curved end. And it's nicely made. You can see the stones. They've been in place a long time. If you turn one of these stones over, you get an orange bottom where it hasn't aged the same. But that's a little bit of a sign that these are ancient. Coming back to the edge, I've arranged to go past the third earth figure I had marked, another sort of rock circle. We're coming up on it just here, quite close to the cliff edge. But you can see right there that that's another man-made arrangement of rocks. The first one and the third one are fairly close to the cliff edge. Of course, that's where people spent most of their time. It's, I think, near where they lived. That second one we went to, the one just before this, is, I don't know, half a mile away from the edge. And so that's really in the middle of nowhere. I see some petroglyphs down there. Just come down on the cliff band now. Again, quite old. You can see they're partially repatinated, so they're orange. I also see a couple way up high up there. I won't get closer to those. So other ones over there. Here, that's actually a pipette. The thing with the two lobes, a vertical line with two fat lobes. That's a famous sort of design here. This is pretty nice. There's a ball with a pattern inside it. Maybe we'll get closer to that one. But also I want to point out, here's a broken off basalt column. This is what's tumbling down the hill here. There's a lizard man. Anything around this corner? Yeah, there's more. Oh, it's quite a fancy one there. And you can see this whole, basically this whole face is decorated. I am not going to cover it. I've been here before. And mainly seen enough petroglyphs for the day. But here's a close-up of this one. And some others. I think we'll head down here. May see some more along the way. I got to be careful with my footing on these rocks. Some of them are loose. But that's not a bad boulder there. I may have a bit of glare. I have to take it from a different angle. I think that's a bird or maybe a butterfly. And there's a fancy one on the back side of this rock, so get in position. Well, I see a lizard man, just a stick figure one, and the other one looks like a shaded version of some sort of creature. I can't tell if it's a lizard man or a lizard. It's a little bit different style. And there's an outlined cross type thing up there higher. There's something over on this rock too. Well, if you compare the orange of this one, so it's orange because it's already partially repatinated. It's probably well over 1,000 years old. Maybe, maybe as much as 2,000. And you compare it to that one down there, the waves, that's completely repatinated. That's much older still. I don't know what the experts would say, but heck, it could be 5,000 years. It's certainly from a different era than this one. An interesting one on the backside of that rock down there. I'm sure I haven't seen that one before. We'll go down and look at it. That's quite an interesting one. It's got some circles with a little bit of a grid in between and then a sort of a cross on top. Again, quite old, largely repatinated. And as I get down here, I see a big one right on the rock behind. Let me see if I can get a picture of that one. There's a rock I can stand on here. Oh. There's also a nice cliff just below me here. If I can stand without losing my balance. Look at that. Look at all those circles and dots. Oh, and you can see the other ones behind it. Pretty nice scene here. I like that. No, don't think I've seen these. Well, walking to the bottom now, walking back toward the car. I see a glyph on a boulder that's fallen down to the bottom. Obviously fell down a long time ago because that's an old glyph. More than 1,000 years, I'm sure.